This is section 2.6 in your book. We're looking at translating English phrases and algebraic expressions. Essentially for this section, what you need to do is look at the list of words that translate into mathematical operations in your book and just make sure that you memorize the ones that you think are a little difficult or maybe confusing. But for the most part, most of them are pretty straightforward. So when we look at the first example, it says 2 times the sum of a number and 5. So what I like to do is I like to underline the words that are important that tell us what operation we're doing. So for example, it says 2 times and sum, and it also says a number. So when it says a number, we're going to replace that with a variable. Times implies multiply, sum means to add. And we have to look at this carefully because it says that we're going to take 2 and we're going to multiply it with the sum. So that's a clue that you need to use parentheses. So it would be like this. It'll be 2 and then parentheses. So 2 times the sum. So that would be x, and sum, so meaning x plus 5. So make sure if you understand that you need the parentheses. If you do not put the parentheses there, it would just mean 2 times x and not 2 times the sum. Same idea for the second one. It says 4 times the difference. So times the difference or times the sum, you want to make sure you use parentheses. So we're going to write 4 parentheses. Okay, so we underline times and difference. Difference implies to subtract. So subtract what? A number and 10. When you're subtracting, make sure you write the items in the correct order. In this case, the order in which it's written is the order in which we translate. So we have x minus 10. And that would be our final answer. Next, 9 less than the product of 3 with the sum of a number and 1. So we underline less than, product, and then also sum. So we have to be careful here. When you see less than, it implies to subtract. When you subtract, you need to put everything in the correct order. When you see less than, it's going to be the opposite order, meaning 9 will be written last. And the second part here will be written first. It always works like this for less than. So we need to write the product of 3 with the sum of a number and 1. So product of 3, multiply 3 with the sum. You need to use parentheses. 3 parentheses, sum of what? A number, x, plus 1. So that's the first part. And then less than minus 9. So the important part here is when you see less than, it will be the opposite order. Last part is first part is last. It's always like that for less than. Another one that involves subtraction where we have to pay attention is this next one. It says 7 subtracted from 5 times a number. When you see subtracted from, implies to subtract, but you need to make sure that you put this in the correct order. Subtracted from and less than will work the same way. Last part is first part is last. So you write 5 times a number first, 5x. Then we write minus and we put 7 last. It's always like that. So pay attention to less than and subtracted from. Those are the ones where you have to be careful with the order. The other subtraction ones, we just basically translate in the same order in which it's written.